So for example, I read, again, احنا قلنا a young man راح له عشان a young man كان عنده anxiety, صح؟ احنا بدأنا ازاي? A few years ago, a young man came to me suffering from too much thinking. All right, okay. So a young man, too much thinking. That can topic sentence. So we want to support in previous information. فالجملة دي بسمع لها number one لازم يسبورت the previous information. و number two يبقى ليه علاقة بالmain idea of the paragraph, right? و number three على الأقل برضو نلاقي some sort of connection. So let's read, let's find out. He had just graduated from college and his head was full of confused ideas and emotions, right? Too much thinking. Again, question mark. صح? Question mark. The symptoms he complained of were sleeplessness and worry, together with the inevitable indigestion and headache. I could find no evidence of physical disease, right? So, ممكن نقول برضو he had some sort of symptoms, right? كان عنده أعراض anxiety, أعراض complaint, right? So, Mrs. Basmala, أنت قلت لي answer B. If we seek it, إيه هو it? لو قلنا إجابة B, right? Pronoun أهو. أخد بالي بالpronouns, right? Connection. So لازم the previous information يقول لي it. So what is it? What is it? Right? We don't know. So if we seek it, right? مش عارفين إيه هو it. It's ambiguous. So that pronoun هيقول لي غلط, right? We are doomed always to be ill and unsatisfied. So unfortunately, ما ينفعش نقول answer B. عشان answer B مش بيوضح لي what is it. So I think Abdurrahman for number 7 قال لي answer A. So a great deal of the fatigue and happiness of the world is due to the fact that we do not go deep enough in our justification for work or play, or for any experience, happy or sad. This looks correct. بس دلوقتي الجملة أو الباراجراف بيكلمني عن إيه؟ الراجل عنده too many ideas, too many emotions. وبسبب ideas و emotions الراجل ده عنده أعراض, عنده symptoms, right? عنده sleeplessness, عنده worry, عنده indigestion, right? عنده headache, عنده, some sort of disease. He is sick. The man is sick. So لازم الإجابة بتاعتنا يبقى related to something about sickness, right? Something about sickness. So I give it B. Again, it looks correct. We're always doomed to be ill and unsatisfied. جميل. But what is it? Again, صحيح Mrs. Basmala? So you have to be very careful بالنسبة للpronouns دولت. يا C يا D. He was also very tired, having overworked in his preparation for examinations, and because he had not taken care of his bodies. But we're looking for symptoms of something. كده معناها الجملة ديت لازم يعمل إيه؟ لازم يكلمني عن disease, right? الجملة ديت لازم يكلمني عن disease. When you're choosing answers, you have to think like this. هتقولي, well, Mr. Sima, what about time? Time عندي lag is not the problem. أكبر مشكلة students have بالنسبة للquestions دولت انتوا بتركزوا على ايه؟ بتركزوا على time. احنا لازم نركز على ايه في التدريب؟ لازم نركز على proper practice, right? We have to focus on proper practice. So our answer is D, right? The answer is D. Why? If we could know more clearly the joy of such a conception, we should dry up at its source much of the unhappiness, which is, in a deep and subtle way, at the bottom of many nervous illness and many wretched existence. الجملة ديت بقى how is it connected? Let me clear it up, right? If we can know more clearly the joy of such a conception, right? To stop thinking ده يرجع للمين idea. فاكرين المين idea بتاع الباسج كان بيقول لي stop thinking. هو كان بيقول عليها في previous paragraph it's a conception, it's an idea, هي فكرة معينة. We should dry up at its source the unhappiness. We'll we will stop the unhappiness that causes nervous illness and wretched existence. So بعد كده in the next sentence بيكلمني عن symptoms of this nervous illness, of the wretched existence, right? The sleepiness, the worry, the indigestion, the headache, كل ده. So here we're going to say answer D. So be very, very careful. أقرب إجابة would be answer B. But unfortunately, answer B, ما أعرفش هو إيه, wrong. Be critical when you're choosing the answer choice. Don't look for why the answer is correct. Look for why the answer is incorrect. Let's continue. Let me see Yusuf's paper. This paper, Abdurrahman, Asmala, Yusuf, right? Question number 8, جبتها صح. كل حد جاب question A صح? Yeah. Abdurrahman got it wrong. Okay. Look at question number 8. Focus with me now, right? Another transition. Which of the following transitions from the previous information to the following information? نفس الحاجة, all right? We want to go from the idea of symptoms on previous information, which ده بس, the whole thing, right? The whole paragraph. So paragraph can be كلمني عن the illness or the symptoms of the illness, right? بعد كده عايزين نروح following information. I could find no evidence of physical disease. I did not say there's nothing the matter with you, for the man was sick. I told him that he was tired and that he thought too much and that he was too much concerned about himself, and that as a result of all this, his bodily functions were temporarily upset. So again, كل ده بيكلمني عن ايه؟ أعراض symptoms or أعراض disease. عبد الرحمن قال لي C. Right. عايزين نبص على answer C. عايزين نفكر ليه جابت C غلط. There's a practice of medicine that is concerned with the body only and with its chemical and mechanical reactions. Okay, well, how is this related? How is this related? الراجل بيقول لي عنده symptoms. Right. الراجل بيقول لي عنده symptoms. الجملة اللي بعديها بيقول لي I find no evidence of disease. So ايه اللي حصل؟ هو عامل ايه مع الراجل عشان يقول مفيش evidence of disease وكشف عليه؟ صح؟ Answer B. I went over the bodily functions carefully and studied as far as I might into the organic conditions. I find no evidence of disease. So that's the next logical steps, right? بيكلمني عن symptoms, الدكتور كشف عليه, الدكتور قال مفيش symptoms. And we'll answer B. So question number 9. The writer is thinking about the following, adding the following information. I took x-rays of his bones, MRI scanning of his brain, his blood pressure, his CBC count, his WBC count, T cell count, and did many other tests. Okay. Should we add this information? Well, ممكن أسألكم, what is the main idea? Remember, لازم يرجع للmain idea. إيه هو المين idea? The symptoms are not from disease, right? Well, بالظبط يوسف, right? Be careful there. The symptoms دولت مش جاي من disease. So هو كشف عليه. I find no evidence of disease. فهيكمل على يكشف عليه ويدور على symptoms أو يدور على أسباب. Well, no. عشان the next sentence بيقول كل ده جاي because you're thinking too much. ده مش جاي من a disease or a solid cause. This is happening because you're thinking too much. فليه أعمل كل ده؟ ده أول حاجة. تاني حاجة. These are physical reasons. صح؟ الراجل الفكرة الأساسية بيقول symptoms حصل because of mental reasons, not because of physical reasons. فبرضو this doesn't fit the discussion. مش لازم أعرف كل الفيزيكال tests هو عملها عشان at the end of the day the main idea or the focus is mental reasons سبب في disease like symptoms. فحتى لو قلتوا لي ايه right here it details the steps the doctor took to identifying the young man's health issues. Well, it's not physical. They gave it A does not support the main idea. And they gave it B. Yes, it further explains and expounds on the discussion in the previous sentence. بس الراجل أساسا بيقول في the previous sentence there's no evidence. صح؟ So ليه يعمل كل ده؟ مفيش أي حاجة أساسا. لو مثلا جه after 8 نقول مش وقبل 8 مش. بس again هو خلاص قرر it's not because of something it's not because of something physical, it's because of something mental, right? And so C or D, all right? It's too tedious, too detailed, or it needs to define the acronyms, right? And so C, D مش سبب. When we do not add information, when we say no, ليه بنقول no? Because the information is off topic or the information is off focus. صح ولا لا؟ صح. Question number 10. Which of the following contrasts with the main idea of the passage? أنا مش عارف ليه في ثلاث إجابات صح. I have to fix this. Which contrasts with the previous idea? Which contrasts with the previous ideas? Now, خد بالكم. We're going to pay attention برضو to the main idea of the paragraph. صح? We're going to pay attention to the main idea of the paragraph. So here, I did not say there's nothing the matter with you, for the man was sick. I told him that he was tired and he had thought too much, that he was too much concerned about himself, and that as a result of all his bodily functions would temporarily upset. He didn't believe me and accused me of slander. Does that contrast with the main idea? Right? Well, ايه هو المين idea? Mental sickness. So عايزين contrast. He thought he ought to worry about himself because otherwise he would not be trying to get well. He assumed that I would prescribe him medicine. He was confused as to why a physician is necessary. Well, let's use some elimination, right? D, right? He was confused why a physician was necessary. Well, هو راح الدكتور. ليه يبقى confused في دكتور في الموضوع. وإجابة A, he didn't believe me and accused me of slander. يعني إيه slander? غيبة أو نميمة. It doesn't fit here. It's either B or D. So we want an answer that tells us الراجل ده افتكر العكس, right? الدكتور بيقول له I told him he was tired. He was tired. He thought too much. He was too concerned about himself. وعايزين عكسها answer B. الراجل افتكر لازم يفكر كتير عن نفسه عشان يخف. This is a contrast to the previous sentence. The previous sentence بيقول لي ما تفكرش كتير عن نفسك هتتعب أكتر. الراجل بيقول له أنا افتكرت لازم أفكر عن نفسي. Answer B is the best answer. مش عارف ليه طلع كل الإجابات دول ده. Okay. And finally, question number 11. وحتى here it's telling you two correct answers. Wow. Which of the following most logically organizes the paragraph? Right. أنا حاسس ساعات الصوت بيقع. So don't worry. أما أجي بحس الصوت بيقع عشان بسمع اللابتوب التاني. I stop talking وبخليه يلود. So مفيش كلام بيبقى ناقص لكم. So when I hear الصوت ليها lag أنا بقولها تاني. Just keep this in mind. So مش بكمل كلام جديد. Right? Because I hear myself lagging. Okay. So now we see the order, right? So ساعات الorder ممكن يجي بأي طريقة. ممكن يجي in chronological order, right? يعني ترتيب first, next, last. ممكن يجي sequence of events, logical events, right? So مثلا صحيت الصبح بعد كده استحميت بعد كده فطرت بعد كده نزلت الشغل. ممكن sentence order ممكن يجي عن طريق connections زي pronouns مع بعض. لو عرفتوا to connect two sentences مع بعض هيفرق معانا, right? So in sentence number 10, right? احنا قلنا الراجل افتكر لازم يفكر عن نفسه. Right? احنا قلنا في sentence number 10 he thought he ought to worry about himself because otherwise he would not trying to get well. So ما اجي اشوف number 11 لازم اعمل حسابي على number 10, right? عشان 10 لازم يبقى connected للجملة اللي بعديها. ثاني نلون السنتنسز دولت. Number 1 is in red. Number 2 is in orange. Number 3 is green. And number 4 is blue. Right? So, well, there you go. The color's all ruined. So here, we're going to say you answer B, you answer C. Why? Number 10 بيقول لي الراجل فكر لازم يفكر عن نفسه. Right? وده غلط. Number 4, I explained to him that his mistaken, but this mistaken obligation. فاكرين احنا اتكلمنا عن connections. فاكرين اتكلمنا عن الكونكشنز. واحنا قلنا مع الكونكشنز في حاجة اسمها demonstrative adjective. demonstrative adjective معناها this or that plus a noun. صح؟ This or that plus a noun. This mistaken obligation مرتبطة بإيه؟ الفكرة في number 10. هو فكر غلط وبيفكر كتير عن نفسه. الدكتور بيقول this is a mistaken obligation. So number 4 is connected to the previous sentence في number 10 عن طريق demonstrative adjectives. أنا عايزاكم تدربوا نفسكم كويس على demonstrative adjective والpronoun. اللي انتوا بتعملوها دلوقتي keywords. ولا مرة هتسمعوني هقول لكم keywords. Never in my life. So keep this in mind. So دلوقتي هنقول question number 4 جاية after sentence number 1. So دلوقتي يا إما 4 1 2 3 4 2 1 3. هنقول answer C. Why? That helped a bit. إيه هو that؟ فاكرين demonstrative adjective؟ That is the mistaken obligation. So هوريكم الصورة كلها. Sentence number 10. الراجل افتكر لازم يفكر عن نفسه كتير. Sentence number 4. الدكتور بيقول this is a mistaken obligation. الفكرة ديت فكرة غلط وهتأثر على نفسك. Sentence number 2. That helped. إيه هو that؟ نصيحة في sentence number 4. So we're going to say answer C. When you're drawing connections, pronouns, demonstrative adjectives, you need to look for these. عشان في EST, they use these things the most, not keywords. Okay. Any questions here on this practice? Problems, concerns? Okay, cool. Let's move on. Okay, I fixed the answer key. And then we had December, passage 3, reading. صح كده؟ عبد الرحمن ما عملتهاش. بسملة 72%. يوسف 90%. هل انت حافظ الامتحان ده يا يوسف ولا لا؟